When your wife says she's just going to see an old friend, you don't imagine she'll come back smelling like someone else's cologne. But that night she did. I was sitting on the couch, the TV flickering quietly in the background. It wasn't really on for watching. It was just noise, something to fill the silence that had been growing louder between us for months. Emily's phone had buzzed earlier that evening. She glanced at it, smiled faintly, and said she was heading out to catch up with Ryan. Just a quick coffee, nothing big. Ryan. A name I hadn't heard in years. He was her college friend, the one she always spoke about with a mix of nostalgia and warmth. Back then I never thought much of it. Everyone had old friends. Everyone had memories. But lately, the way she smiled at her phone, the way she started dressing up again for short errands, it gnawed at something deep inside me. That night she came home past midnight. Her lipstick was smudged, her hair looked different, loosened in a way that didn't happen naturally. I didn't say anything at first. I just looked at her as she kicked off her heels, avoiding my eyes. "You're still up?" she asked, voice low. "Couldn't sleep," I said. "How was your coffee?" There was a pause. Her throat moved as she swallowed hard. "It was fine," she said softly. "We just talked." Something in her tone fractured. She didn't sound guilty yet, but she didn't sound honest either. The next morning I couldn't shake the feeling. The smell of her perfume mixed with something unfamiliar. Cologne, maybe aftershave. It clung to her coat, faint but sharp enough to stir that restless ache in my chest. When she left for work, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my phone. My fingers hovered over her social media, her messages, her gallery. I'd never been that guy, the paranoid husband scrolling through his wife's phone, looking for ghosts. But I wasn't paranoid. I was curious, desperate. When I finally checked her phone, just her recent messages, I didn't find much. Most had been deleted. Except one. From Ryan. "Last night was everything. Can't stop thinking about you." And her reply, sent just minutes before she walked through our front door. "I know. I shouldn't have stayed that long." I stared at those words until my vision blurred. My hands trembled, heart thudding like it was trying to escape my ribs. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I wanted to see what she would say, to give her the chance to tell the truth. Maybe deep down I was hoping she would. That evening I sent her a text. "Hey, where are you?" She replied after a minute. "Just leaving work." "Why?" "You sure?" Type. "Because I thought you said you had to stay late yesterday too." This time no reply. The three dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then finally, "I was at Ryan's place." "But it's not what you think." My heart stopped. She admitted it. Just like that. I stared at the message, trying to breathe, trying to understand what she meant by, "not what you think." Type slowly. "Then what is it, Em?" "He's been going through some stuff. I was just helping him. He needed someone to talk to." I could feel my pulse hammering in my temples. "You helped him at his house?" "Until after midnight." No response. "Did you sleep with him?" Finally sent. The silence that followed was its own confession. When she came home that night, I was sitting in the dark again. The same spot. The same cold space between us. "Daniel," she started, setting her purse down. "Please, can we talk?" I didn't answer. I just turned my phone toward her, the messages glowing faintly on the screen. Her eyes glistened. "It wasn't planned. I swear it wasn't supposed to happen." I closed my eyes, the words slicing through me. "So it did happen." Tears welled in her eyes. "It was a mistake. I didn't mean to. I just felt so lost lately, and you've been so distant, and he—" "Don't," I interrupted. My voice cracked. "Don't you dare make this about me." She covered her mouth, sobbing quietly. I could see the guilt eating her alive, but it didn't matter. The damage was done. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "It was just once. It didn't mean anything." "That's the worst part," I said. "You threw away everything that did mean something, for something that didn't." That night, she begged me not to leave. Said she'd do anything. Said we could fix it. But trust doesn't glue itself back together once it's shattered. It just becomes a memory of what used to hold. When she finally fell asleep on the couch, I packed a small bag. Just a few clothes, my keys, my phone charger. Before leaving, I looked at her one last time. The woman I once thought I'd grow old with. Now just someone who couldn't keep her promises. I didn't shout. I didn't slam doors. I just left quietly, like a ghost walking out of his own life. 2 days passed before she texted again. Dozens of messages I ignored, calls I declined. Then came one that stopped me cold. I wish I could take it all back. Please, can we talk? Just once. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering. Then I typed my reply. 16 words that ended it all. You already said everything you needed to, Emily. I just finally heard what you meant. And that was it. No second chances. No drawn-out goodbyes. Weeks went by. The house was quiet, but it was a different kind of quiet. Peaceful, not painful. I found myself walking longer at night, sitting by the lake near my new apartment, thinking about how love can turn into something unrecognizable when lies take root. Sometimes I replayed our early years. The laughter, the road trips, the way she used to hold my hand without needing a reason. I wasn't angry anymore. Just tired. Betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It rewrites who you are. It teaches you that even the person who swore they'd never hurt you is still human. Months later, she sent one final message. I'm sorry, Daniel. I never stopped loving you. I read it once, then deleted it. Because love without honesty isn't love. It's just comfort dressed as affection. And I was done confusing the two. Sometimes I still think about that night. The smell of her perfume mixed with cologne, the look in her eyes when she realized I knew. It doesn't hurt anymore, not the way it used to. It just reminds me how fragile trust can be. And how strength isn't in forgiving someone who betrayed you. It's in walking away before they do it again. A friend asked me recently if I'd ever take her back. I laughed softly and said, no. I already took her word once. And that was enough. Because in the end, it wasn't the act that broke me. It was the moment she stopped being honest. The moment she let someone else hold what was mine to trust. And once that happens, you can't go back. You can only move forward.